Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel for another video today. Today we are going to be talking about what happens when you don't eat enough food on your GLP-1 journey, okay? There are several ways that your body will let you know that you need more fuel or that it needs more fuel to do the things that it is supposed to do for you, right? A lot of times on the GLP-1 journey, within the GLP-1 space, we see people talking about how they want to eat less or how their appetite's not suppressed enough, or even some people talking about how they can't seem to eat enough because they are feeling too full or too nauseous or too sick or whatever. But I don't see a lot of people talking about what can happen when you actually just do not eat enough food. And so that is what I wanted to talk about today. I am one that in the beginning of my journey, especially when I was increasing in dosages, really struggled with eating enough food. I would take my shot on like Thursday, and then by like Sunday, pretty much the first like 3 days, I wouldn't be able to eat anything. And that definitely went away over time. Like as I lost weight and as my body got more used to the medication, I don't struggle with that as much anymore. I still have appetite suppression. I just am more overall in control of my food intake than I was at that time, but it almost took me too far, right? To the point where I knew that my body was not getting enough food. I knew that I would not be able to go and exercise and even go on a long walk because I did not have the energy and the fuel inside me to do it. And that is also dangerous. There are a lot of people who will tell you that starvation mode is not a thing. It is a thing. Like your body will begin to, if you don't eat enough food over a prolonged period of time, your body's going to try and protect what it needs to protect. And so it's going to start pulling energy sources from other areas of your body to fuel your heart and to fuel your brain and to fuel the necessary things for survival, your lungs, your organs, right? But that's not a good sign. If you notice these things, if you notice these 5 things that we're going to talk about, then you need to eat some more food. Drink a protein shake. Have a protein bar. I know it's not always easy on the GLP-1, but if you're at a point where you literally just cannot eat anything, you might want to talk to your doctor also about lowering your dosage because that could definitely affect it as well. Now, let's go ahead and jump right on into this. I also just noticed that somebody just turned the shower on. So if you hear a shower, a light humming in the background, that is what that is. I apologize for that, but somebody needed apparently to take a shower. Okay, so number 1, brain fog. So feeling unfocused, feeling mentally off, forgetting things, almost like you have this cloud over your brain, forgetting words mid-sentence, like things that you're starting to say, and then you just completely forget what you were trying to say. That is a sign that your brain needs some fuel, okay? If you get to the point where like you're in mid-conversation and you can't even like form words or form thoughts, your body is telling you that it needs more food. It needs some protein. It needs some energy of some sort. Most likely your blood sugar has started to drop. You need some food, okay? Number 1, brain fog. This is one that I personally experienced several times throughout my journey. Especially when I was on higher dosages, I would notice that there were times where I just couldn't hold a conversation the same way that I once could. And I started to question, like, is there something wrong with me? Am I having like early onset Alzheimer's or something? Like it got that bad. And when I really sit back now and think about it, it went away when I started lowering my dosage back. My light just died as well. When I started lowering my dosage back and I started to alter my food choices to where they were higher protein and a more nutritious option, that is when I noticed that my body and my brain just functioned better. So please don't make the same mistake I did and not eat any food and then be starving to death. Okay. Number 2 are mood swings. This is also one that I experienced quite often. So if you are noticing that you're getting short with people more frequently, to me, the 2 of the brain fog and the mood swings went hand in hand because I think that I got to the point where I just couldn't think, and then I would get irritated with myself, or I would be trying to answer somebody, or one of my kids would be, asking me questions over and over again, and I would snap on them because I just I was definitely not functioning the way I am. So if you're noticing that so in my house we call it if you're getting hangry, right? So I have a 10-year-old who gets hangry. Like if she has not eaten enough, her mood just flips like this. And you can tell when you need to get her something to eat. It's just like instant that she needs food. And so that is something that I started to experience in myself. And it got to the point where I was able to notice, hey, you need to go eat a string cheese. You need to go eat something, a squeeze yogurt. I like the Danimals. I'm a child. I like the Danimals squeeze yogurts. So you need to have a squeeze yogurt. You need to get something in your body. And almost always my mood would improve. There were even a few times where it got so bad and I was in just like such a bad mood and even like shaky, which we're going to talk about a little bit, to the point where I would like drink Coke or something just to get some sugar or some carbs in me quickly, so that my body could like send energy out where it was lacking, because it definitely was lacking. So if you're getting short with people frequently, if you're noticing that, try to eat something. Again, a protein shake, I understand it can be difficult. It can help you. Number 3, always feeling cold. So this is one that I didn't realize until, again, after the fact. So if you are feeling cold all of the time, what that is it's your body taking, again, energy sources like your warmth, keeping you warm, and taking it to places that it needs to be, that needs to be kept warm. So if you're feeling that you're like your extremities, your feet, your fingers are always cold, the backs of your ears, then that could be a sign that you are undernourishing. That is one that I experienced. Again, every time I would increase my dosage, I would have this period of feeling like super full, super cold. All of these symptoms would happen within the first 3 days of me having my injection. And those were the first 3 days that I was eating the least amount of food. So again, if you're cold all the time, maybe you're not fueling your body the way that you need to be. Number 4, feeling low energy, which I talked about earlier. So if you are feeling like, I said in the beginning of my journey, there were times when I knew that I would not even be able to go for a walk because it just was not going to work. I didn't have the physical energy to walk even a mile in my neighborhood. And at that time I knew, like, I think back now, when I would sit on the dang couch the whole first day after my shot, I knew that it was because I wasn't eating enough food. However, and this is going to be a little bit of an admission here for me, at that point in my journey, I had the mindset that, okay, but the first 2 or 3 days after my shot, that is when I'm going to lose the most weight and that's when it's going to work the best. And so I didn't push it. I didn't try to eat more. I used to tell myself, you need to relish in the appetite suppression that comes the first few days, because that's when you're going to lose your weight, and it's fine. You're going to eat a little bit more towards the end of the week. But even towards the end of the week at that point, if I'm being 100% honest, I was not eating enough to make up for what I didn't eat the other times. And so that is one thing that I definitely would go back and do differently. And I think I've shared here with you guys before, I would make sure that I was getting another protein shake in daily or something, because overall, you want to lose weight on this journey, right? But you also want to feel good. You see a lot of people talking now about the mental benefits of GLP-1 and how they help you to just feel better and have more energy. I didn't experience that in the beginning, but I think I know that was user error. That was me increasing my dosage too quickly, and that was me not eating enough food. If you do not fuel your body, okay, have you guys ever gone on a diet? This is a really good example. Have you ever gone on a diet where you're extreme calorie restricting? So you're eating 1,000 calories a day or less. I don't like to admit it, but we've all done it, right? And you can do it for, 1 or 2 days, right? And you're like, oh, okay, this is great. I got this. I can do this forever. And then by the 3rd day, you're literally dying. You're in a bad mood. You're angry because you haven't eaten anything in 3 days. You have no energy. You can't even do your normal tasks around the house. It's the same thing with GLP-1s. You have to eat. I know we're all trying to lose weight here, but you have to eat your food, okay? If you can't even stomach getting up and taking a walk, you need to drink a protein shake. You just do, okay? And number 5, and I think this is the biggest sign that you definitely need to eat some more food, is feeling dizzy or lightheaded. And I've talked about this one with you guys before. This is something that I experienced a lot in the beginning of my journey. Every time I would stand up, I would be dizzy or lightheaded. And I always correlated it back then to the beginning of my shot cycle. Like, oh, it's just because I have the highest levels of tirzepatide in my body right now and it is making me dizzy. And as the week goes on, I won't be dizzy anymore. But now looking back on that, I can realize that it's not necessarily the level of tirzepatide that's in your body. It's the food that you're eating, I guess, because of the level of tirzepatide in your body that is making your blood sugar crash, your blood pressure drop, and then you're not able to eat any food, and then you feel dizzy and yucky. So even now, still on day like 1 or 2, I might have slight dizziness, but it's not like it was. Like I'm telling you, before I would stand up out of bed in the morning and I would have to hold on to my nightstand or whatever and like settle myself before I could really walk around. And that, looking back on it, was a very clear sign that I was under fueling. But again, at that point, I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to lose weight fast. And not only that, I was sharing my weight loss with the world, right? And so I wanted to be a good example of what GLP-1s can do and how much weight you can lose on a GLP-1 at that point. And I would say that if I could go back now and change some of the ways that I did things and even some of the ways that I presented things, I definitely would. I had a comment very recently on a video where I was talking about like how much weight I lost every month. That's actually one of my more popular videos lately. And so I'm getting a lot of comments on it. And somebody said, are you going to forget to mention that you took phentermine for the first month? Okay, but well, first off, no, that's never been a secret. Everybody that's been around knows that, right? But looking back on it, I said before, I would not do that again because all that did was add to the fact that I couldn't eat enough food. And then it was giving me this like crazy energy because phentermine's a stimulant, so it'll give you some energy. So then I would go and I would, walk 2, 3, 4, 5 miles after I dropped the kids off at school. And then, but I wasn't eating any food and I'd eat like 2 chicken nuggets for lunch, right? And so it only fueled to me under fueling. And quite frankly, I don't even know how I survived that first 2 months with the little amount of food that I was eating. So don't make the mistake that I made. Yes, it worked out and I'm fine. And now I'm eating much healthier amounts of food. However, it was miserable for me in the beginning. And those first 2 or 3 days after my shot every week were hell. They were awful. It was awful. And so I do not wish that on anybody else. And I'm not talking about like nausea or vomiting or the side effects that you hear about a lot. I'm talking like just this like body aches and lack of energy and feeling like I couldn't even form a sentence. Like it was just too far. I took it too far. So don't make the mistakes that I make. And if you start to feel any of the side effects that I mentioned in today's video, then throw a protein shake in. Obviously talk to your doctor about it because I'm not a healthcare professional, but do talk to your doctor about that as well and make sure that he or she agrees with the plan that you were on, with the dosage that you were on, and being honest with him or her about how much food you're actually eating is going to be very beneficial to you. You don't want to go too far the other way. You just don't. Make sure that you're eating some food. There is not a body in the world that can survive for a long period of time on 1,000, 1,200 calories a day. There's just not. That's why that diet has never worked in the past, because we end up with all these side effects and all these issues surrounding that. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you're eating enough food to really fuel your body, because if you fuel your body right and enough, then it's going to do what it needs to do and it's going to let go of the weight that it needs to let go of. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.